In 1960, the famous archaeologist Louis Leakey sent Jane Goodall, now a renowned hematologist and conservationist, to Gombe, Tanzania to study chimpanzees. Now, at this time, humans believed that we were the only sentient animals on the planet. But during her 50 years of studying the chimpanzees, Jane Goodall found that chimpanzees too can communicate using vocalization. They can feel emotions like love. They're self-aware. In fact, they can distinguish themselves as an individual from the rest of the group. And they can use tools in a very sophisticated manner. As shown here, chimpanzees find twigs and peel off leaves before they fish for termites, a skill which they can teach to other chimps. Since Goodall's pioneering work with chimpanzees, the idea that many other animals may share similar traits with us humans has been explored in great depth. Elephants are known to feel grief and to have an awareness of death. These elephants are mourning as they've come across the skeletons of their loved ones. So they grow tense and eventually form a defensive circle around the bones before sniffing the skull in order to identify which elephant it belonged to. And it's just not only elephants, which we don't consider a threat to us, that share these traits with us, but also lions, which are considered the most dangerous species on the planet. Elsa the lioness was raised by George and Joy Adamson, who took her in after George was forced to shoot her mother in self-defense. When she was around 3, the Adamsons decided to teach Elsa how to lick a wild lioness and eventually set her free in a wildlife preserve in Kenya. What the Adamsons and Elsa showed us is that lions are eating machines as they're portrayed in many nature TV programs, but they're individuals capable of friendship, emotion, and trust. Another example of this type of relationship is when animal behaviorist Kevin Richardson interacts with his lions in his reserve. His relationship with these animals is purely built out of trust, friendship, and of course, love. But if we have such knowledge about connections between us and other animals, then why is poaching still escalating? Mahatma Gandhi once said, "The greatness of a nation and its moral progress can be judged by the way its animals are treated." So if this is the way you can judge a moral progress of a society, then where do we stand as humans? Who are we? He went on to say that I hold that the more helpless a creature, the more entitled it is to protection by man from the cruelty of humankind. When he says helpless creatures, we tend to think about small animals that are defenseless. We never think that the most dominating species of an ecosystem will be the most defenseless creatures of all. It is now estimated that 12,000 elephants are killed each year in Africa for their ivory. They have faced a population loss from 1 million elephants to merely 690,000 elephants left in the wild. In addition, the way these animals are killed is very inhumane. Elephants usually roam around in herds, either full of males or full of females. As I mentioned before to you that these animals have an awareness of death, imagine what they would feel when they have to witness their own mother or sister being killed in front of them before they're killed themselves. This also results in orphan baby elephants who are not killed because they don't have any tusks. These elephants are left distressed and confused before they die in a couple of days, either out of starvation or in the hands of another predator. Lions are starting to lose their home range drastically. In addition to poaching and habitat loss, a new threat to the lion population is trophy hunting. Lions are in high demand for trophy hunters and are considered very valuable. Rhinoceroses are constantly killed for their horn because people hang on to believing that rhino horn cures diseases. Of course, there's no scientific evidence for this, and they found that rhino horn is composed of keratin, the same stuff in your nails. So really, you get the same effect by biting your nails. All this poaching has taken its toll on the rhino population. They have faced a staggering 97% population decline, and with the western black rhinoceros of Africa being declared extinct just 2 years ago. Tigers are facing a crisis far worse than any other animals I've mentioned today. In the 1970s, there were 40,000 tigers in the wild, whereas now there are 3,200 tigers left. Tigers are actually at the tipping point. If we don't do anything about their population now, they'll go extinct by 2022. This may all sound depressing for you to hear, but what we have to realize is that we have the power to change this trend. We can save the tiger and other animals that face the fate of extinction. But why? Why conservation? What is wildlife conservation? Wildlife conservation is the practice of protecting endangered plants and animal species and their habitats. Why should we spend so much money on these animals? Why? Well, first of all, let me tell you one thing. Any animal on the planet, whether it's an insect, fish, or a bird, has a place in the ecosystem. And if that changes, we are changing the whole structure of nature, which results in unforeseen consequences. Sadly, this is starting to happen right now. And I'll talk to you about one ecosystem that's been affected when one species almost became extinct in the area. This is the coral reef food chain, which belongs to the ecosystem. Ecosystems are basically made out of hundreds of food chains together. The top predator is the shark, which eats the green sea turtle and the fish. The green sea turtle eats the jellyfish. The jellyfish eats the fish, and the zooplankton at the bottom is eaten by the fish. Now what happened in Japan was that the green sea turtle population almost became extinct in the area. This resulted in an exponential overpopulation of jellyfish. It was so severe, when fishermen tried to fish, their fishing nets were clogged by jellyfish. So can you see how once a structured system quickly turned to chaos when something was changed? This affects how you get your own seafood, as eventually this of course affects the population of fish in the sea. And it's just not these animals that are just needed for the ecosystem. They're sentient beings that feel emotion, like love, happiness, and sadness, and are not mindless brutes that are so below us and just run around and kill other animals. Because aren't we, in a way, more uncivilized than these animals? We are killing them ruthlessly for our own selfish desires. But like Gandhi said, they are entitled to protection by man from the cruelty of humankind. The good news is that you can make a difference. You can raise awareness, tell a friend, a family member, a classmate, tell virtually anyone. There are hundreds of organizations out there that help preserve wildlife, and these are just some of them. All these organizations take donations, and for those of you who are into hands-on experiences, they offer volunteer programs. If you're still sitting there unconvinced, thinking, oh, well, I can't make a difference, or we don't have much power as people compared to the government, then let me tell you about a successful conservation story that just happened recently. Thailand is one of the leading demand countries for ivory from Africa. Not long ago, a petition was sent around by World Wildlife Fund to end this trade. Many normal people like us signed it, and eventually, WWF presented it to the Thai government. The result? The Thai Prime Minister said they would aid conservation groups to help end this trade. But remember, whatever you do, every individual matters. Every individual has a role to play, and every individual makes a difference.